when it works too hard, which is usually due to a deficit in the neurotransmitter serotonin. And when serotonin levels are low, the cingulate gets hot and people get stuck. They might get stuck on a worry. What's a worry? It's an anxious thought that they can't let go of, right? Or they might have an obsession. You know, they're driven to do this thing that they can't let go of. They get stuck on hurts and hold grudges. They get stuck on certain behaviors and may have compulsions or addictions. They get stuck in their own position. It's so irritating because they end up to be oppositional and argumentative. People who have this problem, it's like no matter what it is you say to them, they argue with you. Have you ever been around people like this? Am I the only person? I mean, if you say it's a nice day today, I mean, something is innocuous, it's a nice, they'll immediately go, oh, it's not that nice. It was nicer yesterday. They see too many errors. So they're always fault-finding. They're always noticing what's not right. They tend to be micromanagers at home and at work. And they tend to be rigid and inflexible. And if things don't go their way, they get upset. And on the surface, they appear selfish because it has to be their way. But when you understand it from a neuroscience standpoint, they're really not selfish. What they are is inflexible. There are many ways to help this system. And this is such an interesting system. So the first thing, if you have this problem, and you notice you get a thought in your head more than 3 times, I want you to physically get up and go do something else. The act of distracting yourself helps to get these thoughts out of your head. People who have a high cingulate do better with options. So if you're married to a person like this, never go, okay, we're going to dinner here. Even if here is their very favorite restaurant. Don't do that. It's always better to go, you know, we could go here, or we could go here. What would you like? And if you give them options, they do so much better. Reverse psychology. Now, reverse psychology does not work for everybody, but it really works with these people. So if you're living with a difficult cingulate person, a sneaky strategy that works is to ask them to do the opposite of what you want them to do. It's sort of like living with a 2-year-old. And if you wanted a kiss from a 2-year-old, you would never say, give me a kiss. Because as soon as you said, give me a kiss, I don't want to. If you really want a kiss, what you say is, I don't want a kiss. Today, we're not kissing. No way we're not kissing. And within 30 seconds, they have to give you a kiss or they're going to die. Living with a cingulate person is sort of the same thing. And exercise. Exercise is amazing for this part of the brain because what exercise does is it boosts serotonin levels to the brain and it makes people more flexible. So if you're in a fight with a cingulate person, the best thing you can do is take them for a long walk. Now, for the first 15 minutes, don't talk about anything that's sensitive. After about 15 minutes, what you'll notice is they're just so much easier to get along with and they're more likely to see your point. Now, if you give these people a high-protein, low-carbohydrate diet, they will concentrate better on the things that bother them. They get more irritable. The best diet for cingulate people is a higher carbohydrate, lower protein diet because things like bread and pasta are mood foods for them. Now, if needed, there are also certain natural supplements like 5-HTP or medications that help balance this part of the brain. I talk about them in the book. But what I want to do is I want to tell you about a story of a man who came up to see me at one of my lectures, and he said, Dr. Amen, he said, I'm so grateful for all the things that you taught me. It's really changed the way I live my life, especially my marriage. He said, I'm married to a woman who has the cingulate from hell. No matter what I say, she says the opposite. It's so frustrating. For years, I just thought she didn't love me. And now I know it has to do with how her brain works. So if I used to ask her to go to the store, she would always get mad at me. It's like, I can't do that. Can't you see how busy I am? And so I stopped asking her to do anything with me. But now, after I've listened to you, what I realize is I have to ask things in the opposite. So if I want her to go to the store with me, I say, sweetheart, I'm going to go to the store. You probably don't want to go with me. What do you mean I don't want to go with you? Of course I want to go with you. We hardly spend any time. What is the matter with you? He said, you know, I'm just so grateful, but I'm still having one problem that I hope you can help me with. I said, what's that? He said, it's the sex thing. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it doesn't sound right to say, I'm going to go have sex. You probably don't want to come with me. He said, do you have any ideas for me? And I have to tell you, I love that question because it tells us, it shows us how practical brain science can be. And so I said, okay, do this. Take her out for a pasta dinner, right? Simple carbohydrates boost serotonin levels to the brain. Next, take her for a long walk around the lake where they lived. Exercise boosts serotonin levels to the brain. And then when you bring her home, give her a small piece of dark chocolate. Dark chocolate raises a chemical in our brain called phenylethylamines that increase the alerting response in the brain that something fun is about to happen. Then go in the bathroom and put just a little bit of baby powder behind your ears. Why? Baby powder is the most potent aphrodisiac on the planet for women. What do women think about unconsciously when they smell baby powder? Babies. Freshly diapered, cute little babies, and then they want one. And then when you come out of the bathroom, rub her shoulders and never ask for anything directly. About 3 weeks later in my email box, I got one email with 1,000 thank you phrases. Knowing about your brain helps you bring more love into your life. This